Okay. Why don't you tell me about this picture?
This picture was taken, I believe, in about 1935, 36. It's my great-grandfather Pa with these are all my first cousins. The Grosses, the Vetters, the Wolves, the other Vetter, and the Warners. And these here we got together in 1988, and they were all there at that time. And now there's a lot of them are gone by now. So
Wasn't there a similar picture to this in the summer kitchen out at the farm of all your first cousins?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Maybe you
Okay.
took one from that.
Well, yeah. So this would have been your grandpa there,
My grandpa, yes.
and is your grandma
This is
in
my
there?
grandpa.
There's.
My grandpa was my grandma was not alive no more.
Okay. Okay. So now, which one are you again?
I'm peeking out right here. Right here I am.
All right.
Okay. Picture was taken with my dad, my mother. This is my mother here. This
That's it.
this is my grandmother Wangler. This is my mother, and this is my dad. And it was 1955. And look, all the little children that were on here in 1955. There's these are all my niece and nephews, and some of our children are on here. This picture here was taken in 1915 and 1916, and this is the farm that the house where I grew up, my grandfather's farm, and this is my great grandfather's house back here. That's where I raised my family, and then back here there was another house, and there was Walter Vetter lived in here at the time. And these here are some, my uncles and my aunts here. This is Aunt Julia, that I know, she's a Bumstark. The other ones, I'm not sure. I better not say.
Okay. There we go. Okay.
My dad was so proud, he bought a camera when my aunt Juliana Bumstark got married. So there's a lot of pictures that we have, and we don't know who they are. This picture is not written on in the back, so I better not say, but that's the house where I was born and raised. That's about all.
Okay.
This is also a picture from church, St. Joseph Church, and you can tell by all the people here. My dad took a lot of these types of pictures, big groups. So I'm not going to say who's all on. I'm sure most of my relatives are on here.
Did he often just take pictures for anybody, or was it family pictures?
He took pictures for a lot of church doings and for other families. He did take pictures. He had a picture in 1922. He told me he bought a picture. No, it was earlier. He bought a picture, a camera when his sister got married. And she got married in 1918 maybe, or 16, whatever.
Okay.
So he was really proud of his cameras.
Great.
This is a picture where this is my father and my mother right here. And this is my mother's side, the Wangler side. And this is my brother Wendland. He's alive yet by now, and Aunt Clara. Them are the only ones that are alive yet, these two. This was my aunt, this was my brother.
Okay.
So my dad was awful proud of his camera. You can tell here, he always uses his background. This is also a picture of my mother's side, Wangler. You can see how they came over. My mother was 9 years old, and so funny. They always look so sad when you see a picture. So it's really so sad when you look at them.
What were their names again?
Her name is Wendland Wengler, and her name was Elizabeth Wengler. And that picture was taken
Has their born dates?
1880 and 1876.
Yeah.
Just when
They
they
were
were
born.
born. They came over later than my Vetter side did. You can also see by this picture
There we go.
that my dad used the same background. This is my dad, my father, and my mother, my grandfather and grandmother, and these are the Groses, these are the Vetters, these John Grose and Magdalene Grose, Joe Vetter and Franica, these are my parents, and John and Annie Mary, there's my grandma and grandpa. This is Valentine Vetter, he was still single. Adam Baumstark and Juliana and Andrew Warner and Annie Mary Warner and Matt Gross and Kinegunda Gross. So I'll show you some pictures where we used to get together as a family when we were little growing up.
You said that your son now has this background. That was your grandfather. That was your dad's.
Yep, our son has that background now. And here, this next picture that I'm showing, it looks pretty tough.
Yeah.
But this picture is the same picture as we showed before. This is Grandpa, but Grandma had died already. And these are not the parents. These are just all my first cousins.
This is the Baumsart side.
These are all my first cousins here. And this is here I am, right here. And a lot of these are gone too now, by now. Well, not all that many, but just quite a few cousins.
And this is still on the Baumsart side of your family?
What?
Which side of the family is this again?
This is the Vetter side.
The Vetter side, okay.
Yeah, the Vetter side of the family. That was good. These are my parents, Joseph and Veronica Vetter, when they got married.
And what day was that again, do you remember? Or what year that they got married?
Got married in October 17, 1921. Got married. This is a picture where we made our first Holy Communion.
And that was that holy...
And this is me. Here I am. And as you see how many, and it was just a small church out there, and look how many first Holy Communions they had.
And this was at St. Joe's, that
St.
was
Joseph's Church that burned down. Yes,
right next to
that's
your
out
land.
there by the grotto. Yeah, out by the Vetter, what we call Vetterville. And these all belonged. There were Millers and Warners, and most of them were my cousins. And Millers and Walls, and the rest were pretty well all my first cousins. This is also an old picture that my dad took, and you can see how they all have their caps on. And I'm about the only one in around this area that wears a cap all year round, a cap or a hat. And at that time they all wore hats and caps, and now you don't see that no more. But this picture was taken, I don't know when it was taken. There's some on there that I might know, but That this is just most relatives.
Okay.
And this is a newer type picture. That's the one where all my brothers are on. There's 9 brothers. There's not 9 boys. There's 8 brothers. And you see by the background, still use my dad's background. And this picture was taken in now. This is Wendland, John, myself, August, Valentine, Adam, Joe, Ben, Tony, and Leo. He's 83 years old, and then there's 2 girls in between, but I'm not going to mention them because they're not on here. Then there's John. He's 79. I'm going to be 76. He's 71. He was just 70, Adam. And Joe is about 2 years younger, 68. And 66 is Benjamin. And Tony is 64. It's going on 65. And then Leo. We're all alive. We get together twice, 3 times a year. So we're proud that we can still be all together. I have newer pictures when we are older, but this is one of the youngest ones where they're all on.
That was taken in 1951.
The one taken in 1961, yeah. Well, let's go. This one I had.
And who are
This picture here was also taken by my dad, father. This is Wendland, Annie Mary, my sister. Wendland is my brother. Annie Mary, Elizabeth, John. And then there's Catherine. And then there's myself. I got the chicken here. Then Christine. And then there's Valentine with a little sheep. And then there's Adam. He's 70 years old now. Adam. And then there's Joe, right here, that little guy. And then there's Ben. 2 of them weren't born yet, and we're all alive. We're still all alive yet.
And then Ben was born. Do you remember what year Ben was born?
Huh?
Do you remember when Ben was born? Because the picture would be right around.
Ben was born,
I can look it up too.
well, he's a baby. He's 66 now. When would that be? 1940?
40, yep. So it's taken about
39,
40.
I think he was born, 39.
So it's taken about 1940. So now this one is a postcard. So your dad would make pictures and send them out as family postcards too?
Yes, okay. Oh.
So your
If
family...
you notice, there's a postcard. And my dad was so proud of being taking pictures. If you tell her, he developed his own pictures. We have so many pictures that I could talk for, I don't know, for months. That's how many pictures my dad had. He developed his own pictures. You see here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a...
Just kind of move it just a little. Perfect.
It's a lot newer picture, if you see here. And the other picture before Leo and Tony weren't on, and my parents weren't on. So, can you put them both on?
Mm-hmm.
See here. And then there's older, and we're still all alive. So, this was taken when? Doesn't say on there.
Nope.
Also, my parents, I have to.
Another wedding one.
This is also an old picture that my dad was so proud when they got together. And there's some aunts that I know. This is Mrs. Groves, and this is Mrs. Warner, Mrs. Eibach. And no, there's nothing on the back. So
But that was just aunts and uncles and family members.
this is a great, yeah.
Great. Okay.
This here is a picture. If you look how the women were all dressed in white blouses. I got a kick out of that when I pulled it out. My dad took a lot of pictures on a Sunday afternoon, and it was right by the house. You can tell, but they had that wood fence, and look how they were dressed. Look at the dresses.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
All in white
Here
except
it
one. Oh,
says.
and there's who everybody is.
Here are all the names. You want to read
Left to
them?
right. Cecilia Schumacher. Liz, I'm assuming Elizabeth Wald.
Wald.
Katie Wald. Katie Richter.
Richter.
Anna Mary.
Warner. You saw on to me.
Oh, one, okay. Pete Schmaltz, sister.
Yeah.
Eva John?
Son.
Zahn. Maggie Turner. And then Magdalene Gross,
Gross,
your aunt.
also on. There's two aunts on here. So this, I really don't know the other people. They just must have came for company.
But your dad took a lot of pictures of company.
Lots of pictures. My dad had a lot of pictures from other people. This I want to wait yet.
Okay.
This picture, I thought it was real neat too. This is a picture where there's another communion picture where there's the angels. They had an angel. They went there. They didn't go to the first Holy Communion when we made our first Holy Communion, and then there was the second. The ones that went the year before, they also went with the first year. And then they had an angel. There was usually, yeah, there's two angels. There's another angel over here.
So they would just come back and help out for the next
How
year.
about, so they would, because there were small groups, but as you see here, there's not that all of the small groups.
No.
Look how nice they were dressed. I don't know when it's, no, it don't say when the picture was taken. But I would say in I'm not on here, so 36, maybe like in 1936, because I'm not on. I would be on there.
Okay.
But look how nice they were dressed.
Only in the Sunday dresses.
And the people were poor at the time. This
Yeah. Okay. And what's this one?
this picture is also just front of our house, my grandpa's house, where I was raised and born. It is just must have been in a Sunday afternoon. It looks, they have the white blouses on, and the men had caps on, hats, caps. Look at the cat. They're coming back again with that same type of.
You always wear caps outside no matter what?
This was taken in 1923.
Oh, wow.
John Vetter, John Warner, and so that's just one of the pictures I want to.
That your
My
dad
father
liked to
had so
take.
many. He had hundreds and hundreds of pictures.
I'm gonna, okay. Left to right, Uncle Vincent Schmidt, Aunt Mary Schmidt, Joseph Vetter Sr., Aunt Julia Schmaltz, and Uncle Joseph Schmaltz.
These here were my, these came out to our farm a lot. She was my grandpa's sister. And they were there a lot. When they came down from Canada, the Schmaltzes and they were together a lot. The Schmidts. And it says on the back the names are on.
Everybody is.
Even here, there's a picture.
Uncle Andrew.
Yeah. There's a picture of Uncle Andrew. I would say, I'm going to look in the back if it's, no, there's nothing written on. I would say this picture was when he was single. Because he was standing all by himself, and he was standing by the fence. There's a wooden fence. Look at how nice a wooden fence. And how proud he looked. And I would say he maybe was just a young man, you can tell. He did a lot of work with my dad, with Joseph Vetter. He was a brother-in-law to me. They lived down there also. His wife took care of my great-grandma and grandpa. They landed up, they couldn't take care of themselves no more. So my dad just took that picture, and I assume it was, I don't know, was he still single, or it looks like he was.
Okay.
This picture was taken in 1925, and that was a Wall family, and my dad just took a picture of them. So I never got to know them. I was born in 30, so it's just one of the older pictures that my dad took. There are so many of them. And now we're going to start out. This is from my Wengler side now, mother's side. Here I am. I'm 75 now, so it's about 74-year-old picture. And my father also had that background. And my son has that background in mine. He still uses it.
Yeah, it says it was taken in 1931 on the top
In
there.
1931, I'm 1 year old. 1 year old. These are my brothers and sisters, and these are the Wenglers. And as I told you earlier in that one picture, she's the only one that's alive from the aunt, and Wendland was on there, and my brothers and sisters are all alive yet, but she's the only one more on left. Now we're going to go to my mother, 1961. That's our oldest daughter, Connie Gross. She made her first Holy Communion in 1961. And my mother wasn't that healthy no more after that.
That's your mom and dad with her?
Huh?
That's your mom and dad
Yeah,
with her?
my mother and my father and Connie, our oldest daughter. This is just an old picture. Just kind of showing you how we had potatoes, all kinds of potatoes. These are newer pictures now. That's when my family grew up.
Okay. 19... 78 when that one was
That's a
taken.
newer picture there. This is also a picture where my father took, and you can tell. This is also Mrs. Groves here. I don't think they were married yet. It's just an old picture. You know who that
December
is?
31st, 1967?
Yes.
That must be you and
That's-
Loretta.
That's my wife
Looks
and
like
I.
you.
She's so in Lafayette at that time. We
You
had-
look pretty happy too.
We had 12 kids, and after that, we didn't have no more kids.
I think 12
We
might
had
be enough.
12 children before this picture was taken.
Wow, all 12 were born by 1967?
In 1967, our families were all born.
Wow.
So, but she was still pretty good in love, the way it looks here. I
Uh,
squeezed
You
her.
look pretty happy too.
Yeah. This is it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do the calendar, because you talk about the calendar a lot on the other tapes. I would like to show that. You can obviously just get
Well,
rid of
let
this
me
for
see
now.
how we're going to do that.
Well, let's see. I have that picture first. If you want to talk about the flags.
Just a minute.
Okay.
2000, yeah.
Okay. So
Okay, this was in 2000. We had a big reunion in 1988, and we had one in 2000, where all the Vetter cousins, all the ones that were alive, were there. A lot of them pictures that I showed, they were on. This here we had the flags coming into the yard. And we had welcome all the people from Canada. We had about 300 people there from Canada. There's two sisters moved up to Canada, and they had 14, 15 kids, and one got married twice, and she had so 300 people came down from Canada for the reunion. And then this here, each family had a.
family
This
flag.
was the Vetter flag. Here you can't see it that good. And then there was the Grosses and the Wolves, and they all had there. We even had a little, what do you call
TP.
that?
Little TP.
PV setting up. My boy from Minot, he's a photographer, and he set that up. This is the tent we had set up.
And that's on the family farm.
It's on the family farm out on the Dan's farm, my great-grandfather's farm, and my great-grandfather's farm. Mm-hmm. My uncle owned it and my dad together, and my dad bought my uncle out, and he put me over there, and I farmed over there. And as far as I know, there were some 50 some kids born in that place.
Wow.
They were, and they're all here. The Warners had 10, and they were all born, I think, all born there except one, maybe. And so was the Vetters, Valentine Vetters, and our 12, and then the two farms, my folks. And here they are. This here is
Mass.
my oldest aunt. She was 100. Magdalena Gross. She was there in 2000. And she was maybe 90. What was she? I should know it. 90.
She's 100 now?
No,
Oh.
she's gone about 2 years. She was about 97, 98, right here. And these were all the cousins and their families. And now, this is a weather calendar that we have. We make every 4th of July. My son Mike and Delphine Vetter, they put it together the first year, and now Delphine is pretty well in charge for it. So over here, we have, this is all my brothers and sisters, not my cousins, just my brothers and sisters, and their kids. This is Wendlin family, Annie Mary Fettig's family, Elizabeth Wall's family, John Vetter's family, Catherine Huber's family, August Vetter, that's myself, family, all the families, Christina Clements' family, Val and Viola's family, Adam and Agnes' family, Joe and Mary's family, and Ben and Delphine family, Tony and Celia's family, and Leo and Bernie's family. So these kids all know each other really, really well. We get together and here's their, we get together every 4th of July, and there's the addresses on there, the telephone numbers on there. Every year there's a new one made. So what I do, I buy them for my family, and it's their birthday presents to the daughter-in-laws, and they like that. So it doesn't cost that much money. You have your telephone numbers. You got
Everything you need.
Everything there.
So now this is
The newest calendar. This is the same calendar that we talked about before. Here are all my brothers and sisters, all their kids are on here. Not my brothers and sisters, just the cousins. First cousins are on this picture. And it was taken in 2000. There might be one or two missing. I'm not sure. I don't think there's many missing. But
So that's just all the kids of your brothers and sisters.
all my brothers and sisters, their kids. I want to see ones. I have to look here a little bit. I want to. There's Joe. Oh. Al. Here. Okay.
There we
This
go.
here is Al Wald. He's the oldest.
Whose kid is he?
He's Al Wald. He lives in Dickinson. He's the oldest of all them cousins. And who's the youngest? And this is the same camera. Here, there's the camera. I mean the calendar. See, these are the same names as the other calendar was.
No, he's doing it with the pictures. Showing the real old. You think I can find that picture?
So now you didn't answer my question, though. Why do you think it's important to share all these memories and document them?
That's really important for our great. As you get older, then it's really important. If you're young, you really don't care. That's how when they took pictures. Why do you take a picture?
To hold on to the memory later when you want to look at it.
There you go.
So share it
There
so
you
when
go.
your kids are, when your grandkids are interested, they can put in a DVD and see everything.
When you take a
She was down yesterday. Then she said, why don't you stay and play cards? Then she said,
why it's so important to take the memories of old. Okay, I remember when
show them around me.
all these were born.
And then she said she has a lot of.
I remember just about everyone by name.
She didn't say a word.
I could pick them. I think I would know them all by name. I do know them all by name. But these here, when they took that picture, we took pictures when I was young like that. And then you think back, And as years go on, now these all have families.
I still have to take it off.
And now they're going to have families also, and they're going to look, and I think it's really important. They say it's what, remember where you come from,
Stay on until I tell you.
you know?
That Dr. Bismarck.
That's important, I think so.
Maybe they can't, she can't.
Is there any other memories you'd like
What
to
else
share?
is there?
Is there any other memories you'd like to share?
They called them on, you took Jane up once, what was it, Tuesday, right? And that day she came out for eye doctor, they showed her.
Well, when you talk about people, when you get into history,
Jane at one, if I wanna meet her,
why is history so important? You know,
It must be bothering, she never said nothing to me.
you think why,
She said she's very healthy.
what's so in 100 years back? Well, it's really important because we're thinking back of hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's important to keep that up
She probably can't
Learn
stand
from the
Yeah.
past.
from the past, yeah.
Oh, she never
Keep
did
that up,
before in
the
the
past.
nursing home. I mean, as far as.
That's
going
real
by
important.
body and that.
And just like with the cooking, why do you got cookbooks? So you don't forget your old recipes. And what is better than an old recipe? When you can pull out, you say, well, my great-grandmother had that recipe.
Yeah, the stories, the memories.
Yeah, yeah. So, church is the same way.
Yeah, she found
You
out
go,
that they're all going home now, she wants to come too.
you want to keep your relatives, you know, they work so hard, they build up the churches, and now you see that some people don't go to church.
Right. Well,
That
she
really
goes
kind of
to-
hurts you because
Lusso told me
them
about-
churches are here to use.
See, it's still the
And
kids.
that's what, my son built a new house
You
in
think,
2000.
"What's gonna fail now when
And I didn't want to tear down the old house because
it's gonna be top-notch,
my
but
great-grandfather built it
the father, well, they are.
in 1900. Okay, how much is the house worth?
Isn't that sexy?
Dollar-wise,
So when you're
you
ready-
couldn't sell it.
They're moving to Valley City. and
Family-wise,
boyfriend up in the-
most of them cousins, when they come to the reunion, they come up, they stop up there and
Got
look at it.
double what they want.
So how much is it worth? So you can't even buy that.
Yeah. Couldn't buy the memories that are
So
in it.
there's so many little things that we forget how much is, why is it important?
So glad they left town. Oh, no, he said.
There's a lot of stuff.
So I don't know. She
We
was-
spend a lot more money, it's not really that important.
And Ray was so
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of neat going through your father's old photos with your brothers and sisters and the stories that you start telling while going through.
That's
them.
right.
And Alicia always
The,
said, "Oh, Ray is so happy now since he's."
I remember my dad was,
That's happiness.
when he
So
took
worries
pictures
all his life.
on Sunday afternoons, I have pictures,
Isn't that something?
we could go another hour or two.
Something.
I've seen how many pictures you have. It would take us a couple days.
Yeah, okay.
There's a
Well,
lot of great memories though
my,
in there.
And Arena longed to.
father had that in his will.
And her mother.
He said, I hope you children get along
Randy got to know
with all my pictures that I have. Well,
college, I guess.
he didn't realize you can make pictures as easy as you can
What did Jane say
at the
yesterday?
time when because he developed them himself. So he put a lot of time into them pictures. He had a carloads of pictures.
Down to-
And he farmed, just taking the time to take a picture. We haven't even got time to take them down to send away.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got my camera full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. This is a picture of my mother and my dad.
Unless Jane wants.
That's a memorial of Franny and Joseph Vetter.
Yeah.
It says on here when they were born, October 14th,
But if it's over on, we should say.
and 1902.
So Victoria's.
And
had
the
Lisa
date,
was-
July the 20th, 1963.
So I wanna meet her now this noon at 1 o'clock.
This is really important, a picture like that. This is my father, born in January the 8th,
She said, "Well,
in 1899.
perfect." I
He
said,
died
"You don't have to pay for
in
it."
February the 6th, in 1980. So you never forget that when they were born. If you have that,
Just for
it's a
regular-
prayer. Then there's a prayer on here.
That's last year's
and there's a prayer, but I want you to read that prayer,
Okay,
if you can.
I can. We'll put it here while I read
Can
it.
you read it?
Yep. It's a lasting interior peace. Peace is the tranquility which comes from order. Order means that everything is as it should be. When my life is running as it should, I shall have peace. Who knows better than God how my life should be lived? Therefore, if I want peace, I must follow God's holy commands. Why do I lack this peace? It is because somewhere in my life I am not faithful to God's directions. His directions may seem too difficult or even impossible, but they are not really so. God will never burden me above my strength, nor will he ever command the impossible. If I lack the strength to follow his wishes, it is because I am not doing what it takes to gain that strength.
Okay, now did you hear how important peace is?
Sometimes they just leave them in a wheelchair.
My dad believed a lot in peace, had peace together. You can tell by the pictures and by the reading. He wrote that. And I showed that to some of the priests, and they said that's one of the nicest write-up for peace. You got to have peace with yourself in order to have peace. See, I thought it was pretty nice.
Oh, it is.
Okay.